Okay, so are we going to have a major housing meltdown this winter? Find out with me on this week's Housing Watch 2023 for the Phoenix Metro. So I've got some things for you guys. Let's talk about, let's jump right in to talk about rental inventory. We've been seeing some things in the rental market that I want to show you. If you've been following my videos, you know I've been talking about affordability as a major driving factor in this market. And during the spring, we had like super low inventory. We had super low buyer demand, but we had just a little bit less inventory than we did demand. And so we kind of almost saw a seller's market sparking off there. What I've been seeing in the numbers in the last 4 weeks tells me that that is cooling down, and we're going to go back to where we were heading into 2022. So let's kind of look at rental inventory first, because I think this is the most important metric that we should be looking at. And kind of added my own little twist to this graph, so just bear with me as I work on getting the visualizations a little bit better. But we ended on August as July 23rd. We kind of ended with inventory around like right below the 5,000 mark. The very next week, ending in August 5th, we were over 5,000. And it's been shooting up every single week ever since then. We are ending August with close to 7,000 rental homes on the market. And that means that we need to take a look at pending and closed to see if do we have the demand to keep up with this inventory. And what I was looking at in my ugly visualization here is that we're probably ending August with very similar numbers to where we ended with July, and how many people were actually like renting homes. So the rental demand has not quite ticked up yet. It's still at this 2.3, 2.4K mark. I'll have better numbers at the end of the month, which is just in a few days for August, and then we'll have a whole new graph here. But we are seeing that inventory has skyrocketed, demand has remained about the same, and that puts us at a 10% inventory increase from last week and a 35% inventory increase from the end of last month. That is such a huge jump in rentals. And I know there's been rumors about like, oh, Airbnb is going bust and things like that. And so I'm wondering, I don't know where all these rentals are coming from, if they are in fact coming from people who owned Airbnbs as short term and they're not getting them rented, if they're throwing them on the market and causing this inventory. If that's the case and we don't see demand start to spike up, we will start to see rental prices come down, and we will start to see some affordability there when you go to rent a house versus maybe an apartment. So something to look at, and something truly to be mindful of. This was a dramatic spike. In just 1 month, we saw inventory rise 35%. I also think that has something to do with the fact that it is August. It's no longer moving season, right? We do see a pullback, but this I think was quite dramatic that we saw. So let's look at active inventory for homes for sale on the market. We kind of saw the same thing, and I didn't add my super awesome like homemade extension of the line. But if you look at where we're going with inventory, we started the month, the week ending of 8/6 with 10.7 thousand listings, right? And we are now up to 14.5 thousand listings. So again, we saw a dramatic increase in listings overall in both rentals and active homes for sale on the market. And so that means, folks, that either demand is starting to cool down or more sellers are coming to the market. I kind of think demand has pulled back, and the way that we test that is to look at the pending listings. So pending listings are listings that have gone under contract, that buyers, were out there buying. So the less pendings there are, the less buyers there are in the market. What we want to look at noting this was it was a very similar increase of like 9% inventory jumped from last week and 35.7% inventory total from the beginning of the month. So another 35% increase in inventory. That is truly, again, it's a pretty significant jump from the beginning of the month to the end of the month. So definitely something to keep our eye on, that we are starting to see inventory. People thought that inventory was just like going away and drying up. And now we're starting to see the opposite happen. I do know that mortgage interest rates are also crept up again. And so they're also maintaining pretty high interest rates to make it seemingly unaffordable. But I think what is the most interesting thing that we have to look at is this pending inventory and these numbers here on the side. Oh, I didn't update that. So don't read that. That is wrong from last time, but let's look at these numbers here. And if needed, I can do a quick month over month. So what we saw was, in the beginning, the week ending in 8/6, we had 973 people put homes under contract. So that means there were 973 buyers out there that like put homes under contract. What we're at now is we're seeing 729 homes under contract. So definitely was a decrease in total number of listings that went under contract. So let's do a quick analysis, quick and dirty. I'll grab my cell phone here. We'll do a quick month over month. So we'll do the beginning of the month, which is 729, and we'll compare it to the end of the month is 729. The beginning of the month was 973, and we will that is a 25% decrease in buyers in the market from the beginning of the month to the end of the month. So we did see a 25% drop in buyers hitting the market right now. That is, again, a significant number of change in our market. So it's something to look at. The other thing that will drive what homes actually close for is what homes the price of the home that actually goes under like contract goes in pending. So the average amount of a pending listing has gone down almost every week. Last week seemed to have been an anomaly. It was more at 550. But this week we saw pendings go down to 529. So you can see that, every week, like pendings are also going down. And that's going to drive prices down. The reasons why that pending prices are going down is because when interest rates go up, the buyer is actually afforded, like they can't get approved for like the same amount. So if they were pre-approved at 7% at say, $550,000, when it goes up to 7.25, that's going to bring the amount that they qualify for down. And so that's why we're going to see this downward pressure in pricing along with inventory rising. So we are starting to see that start to happen, and that's something to keep an eye on and be aware of as well. So I think we've seen a dramatic shift. It like did a total 180 from where we were just a month ago. We had low inventory. We had like total inventory of like 9,000 something homes. And now we're seeing it do a quick 180 and just do a full about face on where this market needs to be. So one thing I wanted to bring to your attention was that I had made some videos around this time, the spring of 2022, saying, oh, the bubble, has the bubble burst? What's the data doing? Because I started predicting that inventory was going to climb. And so I think we're starting to see that again, and we're starting to see inventory rise. Now, the important thing to note is that what happened when inventory rose this time, home prices did fall about 10-ish%, depending on where you were. So as inventory starts to rise, as pending home amounts start to go down, understand that that is a part of the market. Now we went into spring, and then we saw those, all of the negativity that happened from this right here. Home prices went down, kind of was halfway erased during the spring season. But I think we're going to continue to see home prices come down. We need to bring that affordability back, and we need to bring that balance back to our market. And I know some of you homeowners don't want to hear that because, you've invested in your home and it's the numbers look really good to you right now, but just understand that there has to be that pullback in pricing to have that affordability to bring more buyers to the market. So, and then the other thing too is that the part of that is dependent on interest rates. So if interest rates come down, like that pullback in pricing may go away. But I just don't know how long the Fed is going to keep these mortgage or these interest rates high, which in turn has mortgage interest rates high. So I think they're looking for another pullback in the economy, because remember, like housing is like 20-25% of our economy. And so like that's the own, like they're taking the boxes and they're saying, oh, consumer goods, oh, this, oh, that. They're seeing inflation come down in every part of the economy except for housing. So I feel like that this may be the last hurrah in order to get a pullback in housing prices and bring inflation down from housing. So what else we got? Closed prices. So again, we talked about where pendings were and what were those prices there. This right here is the sold list price average for the last 4 weeks. You can see we started the month at 579 and we're ending the month at 533. I think this is really important to see that the first 3 weeks of August really held at that 570, 580-ish. And then this last week, I think it finally gave in to all of those weeks of the pendings going under contract for much, much less. So I think that's what we're seeing in this. And I think going into September, we're going to continue to see the sold list price be on the lower side of where we were. So be prepared for that as well. And that's what I got for you guys for Housing Watch 2023. This, again, all of this data was courtesy of the MLS. I am an agent with Realty Executives, and this was for the whole MLS. So if you are looking for stats on your specific city or possibly zip code, shout out in the comments, let me know. I'll see what I can do, and we can pull up and start looking at some micro cities around the valley. Have a great day.